Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. I'll let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with EB, the dope man. What up? What's up, Will Rose? D on G-ish. What's up? Is that Biderman? Rufus Wilson, my bad. R. Doug, Black Tool, Shalom, Brian Williams, Chicago. What's up, Tucson, Arizona? Tiffany Riley, hello. 5-minute videos. LM, Detroit. What's up, Detroit? San Antonio up in here with T. Got Fudge to the B. Salute. Goldie. DJ Quiet Storm. I don't know why I said quiet. I saw the Q. I just said quiet. What's up, Boston? The Norval Parks. Brooklyn. Queen Imani Huey. What's up, Chicago? Pamela Hamilton, DeMarcus Henderson, Andrea Snell, DJ Renham Beats, Studio Gangster, Minnesota in the house. I'm going in, fam. I'll come back to the comments. I'm going in for now. Let me put up a pic of Lil Ronnie and his daughter. Horrible what happened in Texas yesterday, fam. Horrible. So, as you know, if you followed the show yesterday, if you've been in the news yesterday at all, then you know that Texas rapper Get Money Lil Ronnie, I think that G dollar sign stands for Get Money, if I'm not mistaken. But Lil Ronnie and his 5-year-old daughter were killed in a shooting in Forest Hills. That's near Fort Worth, which is about 30 miles outside of Dallas. That shooting happened on Monday morning, just before 7 a.m. Police said that suspects opened fire at the victims shortly before 11 a.m. actually, in Forest Hill, a suburb about 30 miles west of Dallas. Officers performed life-saving measures, but both victims were pronounced dead at the scene at Slappy's Express Car Wash on Forest Hill Drive. A preliminary investigation found that the suspects fled the scene in a white 4-door Kia after approaching the victim's vehicle, according to the Forest Hill Police Department. Both suspects were described as black males wearing blue jeans and gray sweaters. And it was not enough because the police is on their asses. I ain't got no problem with that. Lock them up. Lock them up. Lock those uncivilized mutts up. That's the mentality all of us have to have, even if they're relatives of ours. You know, sometimes we have poison in the family. And the only way to heal the family is to get rid of the poison. Some mothers cannot be saved. Everybody ain't gonna make it. For the ones who want to change, for the ones who want better, Come on, man. We're going to give you a chance. You know what it is. Everybody get on deck. Got to get on code right now. You want it? You want it? You want better? Okay, come on. But for those who stuck on stupid, for those who insist on turning our neighborhoods into battlegrounds where we take out each other, they got to be taken out. That's right. I said it. We got to get used to getting rid of the uncivilized mutts, whether they come from our communities or outside of our communities. We got to get used to that theory because it ain't going to work no other way. People will change when the pain of the same becomes greater than the pain of the change. When we get to a point to where doing the same thing just don't work and we get totally just tired of doing the same thing, then it might behoove us to go ahead on and try something new. At least we don't know that pain. If we're going through the same thing over and over and over and over again, and we thinking that doing this over here, doing something different gonna cause some pain, I'd rather get out of this pain. Whatever this pain that I'm familiar with, I'd rather get out of this and try something new. Even if whatever that new pain is, let me see what it is. Let me see what that's about. But this pain, I'm done with that. We got to get to that point. Everybody got to get to that point. And I ain't talking about next year, 5 years, 10, 20, 30. I'm talking about now. This was cold-blooded, fam. This was cold-blooded right here. We're talking cold-blooded murder. We got to have that same energy. The same energy that we have for those who bring trouble outside of our community. We got to have that same energy for the ones who bring trouble inside of the community. Or else it ain't going to work. It can't work. I told y'all on yesterday when it first went down that they were going to get caught. I got a homie that worked for the sheriff's department out in Fort Worth, and he told me they had surveillance video, which I shared with y'all on yesterday. They had surveillance video of the suspects. I do not understand why they think the surveillance footage is just going to go away once they start committing a crime. Like are they hoping that the surveillance footage malfunctions? You know, the cameras malfunction or something? Like, are they just hoping, like, just jumping out, killing, and hoping that nobody sees them, and hoping that They don't just it just seems like to me they don't mind going to prison and being ran through by the system. So a few months ago, there was a warning given by this guy to your left. This guy is CJ, what's his name? Casino, Lil CJ Casino. Hell, these guys look very similar. It's really, for me, I was like, damn, is this the same guy? But allegedly this guy is to the left is CJ, Lil CJ Casino. And this guy allegedly warned Lil Ronnie not to go to that car wash. He allegedly warned Lil Ronnie that he wasn't welcome in that neighborhood, and that if he go to that car wash, he was going to get dealt with. The funny thing about this guy, Lil CJ Casino, he was talking about how he has to lay low and how these other guys, his enemies, are not real. They ain't real. They ain't got no real beef because they can go outside. They can do what they want to do. They can move around. He can't go outside. He got to stay hiding. How is that that ain't no flex? See, this is why fathers are important. Present fathers are important, because a father that's been through it or know better will tell you, son, you don't want to live your life hiding, always ducking and dodging. You don't want to live your life where you can't go where you want to freely without somebody pulling up on you, trying to gun you down because of who you're affiliated with or what you said, or what kind of gang you claiming. You don't want that life. It's just like a lot of these internet trolls. They can't go nowhere. They talk a lot of shit on the internet, but they sorry, weak, scary asses know they can't go nowhere without 30 police officers, without 100 goons. They can't go nowhere. They can't even just go pick up their kid from school, because everywhere they go, they create enemies. But they get on the internet and talk really, really, really tough. They ain't got no record of being tough. There's no documentation out there whatsoever. Ain't nobody in the streets can vouch that they did anything that's worth respecting. They've been squares their whole life. They ain't been nobody their whole life. They ain't had no success with the women. They ain't got no homeboys that's making major moves. They ain't got nothing going. Nobody knows them. But they just wake up one morning, get on the internet and reinvent themselves and start acting like they real natural born killers and gangsters. Why would you want to live that life? Why would you want to have a life like that, where every day you wake up, you create another enemy? You just out there manufacturing enemies, getting in everybody's business. Why would you do something why would you want to have that type of life? And why would you Why would anybody want to be around you? Why would anybody want to be around a guy like that that has that many enemies? Back in the day, I had a buddy who was a major player in Houston in the streets. We met each other while locked up. We gained each other's respect after boxing one day on the yard. When I got out and he got out, I went one direction to turn my life around. He wanted the street life, and he did it. He did it to the highest level. He did it. He was totally consumed with the street life. He loved it. He loved the big cars, you know, the jewelry, the respect that came with it, how people feared him. He loved all of that. I used to see him in the club, and he would offer me a drink. And this, keep in mind, this is before I broke through in the music industry. He would offer me drinks. And let me put myself on the screen for a moment. Let me take them off for it. So this guy would offer me drinks. And keep in mind, you know, this is back in the day when I would be in the club and I could get in the club free because I was Willie D. I was already battle rapping and stuff around the city, but I ain't had no money. I was barely making ends meet. So if I had any kind of money, I might have, you know, $10, $30, you know, $60, something like that. You know, I really didn't have a lot of money. All my money went to paying bills. So I didn't really have money in the club like that at all. And he used to offer me drinks, and I was like, I turned down every drink he ever offered me. And I seen him in the club many, many times, and I turned down. And he also used to try to get me to go hang out with him after the club. Man, let's come shoot basketball with me, man. We're going to shoot basketball because they used to gamble playing basketball. And I was like, nah, man. You know why I turned it down? Because of his energy. He treated me well. He respected me. But there was very little people outside of me that he respected. I mean, he was a killer. And he didn't respect the police. He didn't respect nothing. Even his own guys feared him. His hitters, he had hitters. He would say, yo, go do this to such, and it's done. In fact, sometimes these dudes would kill people just to prove their loyalty. Like if somebody had a disagreement with him, they'll pop them right down on the spot, just like that, just to prove their loyalty. Every week, it got to a point to where every week, at one point, it got to a point where every week I would hear something different about what he did to somebody, what he took from somebody, who he had killed. And I just knew his days were numbered. It was just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. So for all those people that feared him and all that kind of stuff, all they had to do is get out of the way and just wait. It's just a matter of time. There's no way possible you can live that type of lifestyle and not get downed. It's just a matter of time. And that time came. And, you know, he died before 30, like so many others that want to, that's just consumed by this street lifestyle, this lifestyle that don't mean shit. Check the scoreboard, man. We down. We down big time. The streets got it. The streets is undefeated. For those of us who made it out the streets, we didn't beat the streets. We survived the streets. Because you know, if you had made that left instead of that right, you wouldn't be here today. If you had left just a little sooner or a little later, you wouldn't be here today. We know that. And that ain't nothing to brag on. Like real cats don't sit around bragging on what they will do and what they did in the past. They might use that as a cautionary tale and to explain a story or something, but that ain't nothing to brag on, man, because you know you could have got it too, because there's dudes who did far less than I did that we walking on right now. I had a little homeboy. He definitely wasn't a kill. He definitely wasn't anybody had to kill. You could fight him. He wasn't going to even pull out no hammer or nothing. But the first day he go on a mission with some crash dummies. Well, with a crash dummy, the first day he went out on a mission trying to take something. He had to catch out running because them boys was ready. And they went to clapping. And they popped him in the back of his head while he was running. He wasn't even built like that. He was just trying to impress his homeboy. This is why I tell my kids and others, if you're going to do something stupid, you make sure it's your idea. Oh, man. So this guy warned Lil Ronnie. He was allegedly talking about Lil Ronnie in this video where he talks about him. He better not come to that car wash that Lil Ronnie ultimately got killed at. He said he better not come to that car wash. So if indeed, first of all, he out of pocket. First of all, he wrong. That's number one. But two wrongs cannot make a right. If he warned Lil Ronnie not to go to that car wash, and Lil Ronnie went to that car wash anyway with his daughter. So not only did he put his life in danger, he put his daughter's life in danger. Then that's a problem, because a parent's number one job is to protect their children, to protect your child. That's your number one job as a parent, to protect your child. And you cannot allow your pride to get in the way of that. You cannot allow your pride to trump your duty to your child. Somebody said victim blaming is whack as fuck. I typically wouldn't have read that. I typically would have just blocked it. But see, this is where cognitive dissonance comes in. I've already prefaced all of this by saying, I already prefaced what I was saying, that if that's what was said, if he warned him and he went there anyway, that's a problem. So I prefaced that, but this slowpoke still said victim blaming is whack, see, this is why I block so many people, because there are a lot of people on social media that are slow, and I have to kind of pull myself back when I'm trying to explain things, because I keep forgetting that a lot of these people are on medication or need to be on medication. I'm not talking to regular people. I'm actually talking to some people who think just like this dude to the left. So I have to remember that. So not get too caught up in it. Just block him and keep it moving. But I didn't block him that time, but he got one more time. But as I said, fam, see, accountability is kryptonite to some people. If you start talking about accountability, the first thing that they get offended, they get triggered, Because some people live their life where they don't want to be held accountable for nothing. If they see somebody behaving in a similar fashion to them, then they're also going to try to protect that person to make sure that that person don't have to be held accountable for anything. So, I'm gonna keep it moving, fam. Let me tell you something, fam. It don't get no worse than taking out a child. Not to say that Lil Ronnie's life was not valuable, but children, old, elderly, women, that don't go. If you want to be in the streets and you want to be a fool and you want to participate in those type of activities where you gamble with your life, okay, fine. But women, children, and the elderly don't go. There are exceptions for women who want to be like dudes and they want to live that lifestyle, then they get what they get. But in general, women, children, elderly do not go, period. It don't get no worse than killing a baby who haven't even began to start living, who ain't did nothing to nobody. All a kid want to do is have fun and play with their friends, play with their toys, play games. That's all a kid think about doing at 5 years old. Shit, that baby didn't know nothing about no ops. That's when you know the streets ain't got no rules no more. Back in the day, even the hardest gangsters had a code. Women, children, and innocent people were off limits. And did you hear what I said? I said women, children, and innocent people were off limits. So it wasn't just women, children, and the elderly. It was women, children, the elderly, and innocent people were off limits. But now these cats out here, they wild, they reckless, and they're soulless. Killing a child ain't just another murder. It's a direct attack on our future, mother. Man, come on, man. It's a direct attack on our future. It destroys families, communities, whatever little respect that was left in the streets. It turns mothers into lifelong mourners and fathers into men who will never be the same. And let's be real, fam. Let me keep it a buck. If you the kind of dude who can pull the trigger on a baby, you ain't no gangster. You a coward. Ain't no street cred in that. You don't get no points for killing babies. Just a fast track to either the grave or a life sentence. When kids starts dying, that means nobody is safe. That's why they ass has got to go. When kids start dying, ain't nobody safe. It means the so-called G code is dead. It means the streets are full of lost souls with no direction, no sense, no regard for life. And if the community don't stand up and stand together, it's only going to get worse. This ain't street life. Let's get that clear. Let's get that straight. This ain't street life. This is destruction. And the saddest part, some of these killers don't even realize that when they kill a child, they kill a piece of their own soul too. They don't even catch their snap until that judge hand down that sentence. And some of them will play cool. They'll play tough when that sentence is being handed down because they know the cameras are rolling. But boy, as soon as they get in that cell, them tears start coming. The tears come. I seen those tears, brother. I know what they look like. All of them cry. No matter how tough they try to act, all of them cry. And those cameras start rolling, you ain't got standing there with your buddy, sitting next to your buddy, making them goofy ass faces, trying to act tough. And you realize your ass ain't coming home no time soon. You realize that your friends are going to have gray hair by the time you get out, if you get out. Your friends going to have grandchildren by the time you get out, if you get out. Your mama might be dead by the time you get out, if you get out. Your daddy might be dead by the time you get out. Your grandmama and your granddaddy, who probably raised you, are going to be long gone. You get out of here, when you get out, if you get out, it's going to be like trying to learn how to walk and talk again. The whole world going to be and pass you by. And that's what it's going to be like sitting in that jail cell. You're going to look on the outside, and your ass ain't going to be able to go nowhere and do nothing. You're going to be stuck like a slave, and they're going to treat you like a slave. And some of y'all going to have to give up y'all ass. Yeah. Yeah, you tough now. You tough now. Even some of y'all who think y'all super tough. What you gonna do when five of them big niggas hold your ass down? Then what you gonna do? You gonna get plugged. Why would you sign up for that type of life? Those uncivilized mutts, because they don't get it twisted now, because I'm not trying to encourage nothing. I'm just giving you the facts of how it go. Because I don't believe in nobody taking nobody, violating nobody, period. I'm just telling you the facts, what's going to happen, how it's most likely to go. So don't get it twisted. If you violate men in prison and you think you getting a pass just because you in prison, you sadly mistaken. You an uncivilized mutt too. And you gay. That's right, I said it. You gay. I'm not giving a pass for no uncivilized behavior. Think they can come be in prison and be gay and come home and be straight, or at least play straight. Nah, you gay. And that's why a lot of them have issues emotionally. suffering from an identity crisis. This dude on the left bragged about not being able to move around freely, having to duck and dodge and not live his life to the fullest because he got so many enemies. He talking like that's a flex. See, I'm gonna tell you something, fam. Sometimes when you are raised in a certain community, it ain't really gotta be the hood. You can be raised in the suburbs and still have everybody that's rich ain't good. You know, ain't everybody that's rich don't have a strong moral compass. They don't have good values. Everybody that's got money don't have good values. So let's get that straight. But sometimes when you're raised in a certain environment and you're conditioned to be a certain way, everything that's right is wrong to you, and everything that's wrong is right to you. So you just live life totally backwards. Your ass just do everything backwards because you've been conditioned. When street dudes start killing kids, it's the ultimate sign that the streets have lost all sense of honor, discipline, and structure. See, that was a time when even the most feared gangsters had a moral line they wouldn't cross. They understood that certain actions came with consequences far beyond the streets. Killing a child, that was an unforgivable sin. But now, too many of these young cats ain't got no guidance, no OGs with wisdom, no sense of accountability. They out here moving reckless, shooting up playgrounds, homes, and cars without even thinking. They pull the trigger over petty beefs, social media drama, or a misplaced look. And they don't even stop to ask themselves, who's in the line of fire? A real street dude wouldn't even let that slide. If you got a problem with another man, handle that face to face. Don't get on the internet like a little bitch and talk down. Handle it face to face. Not by spraying bullets in the direction of his family. But these days, cowards call themselves killers. Let me say that again. These days, cowards call themselves killers. They justify taking out innocent lives just to prove a point, to send a message. Well, what kind of message is that? That you have no control? That you're too weak to go toe to toe with the one you got a problem with? That you're willing to destroy your own community, your own people for nothing? The saddest part is the cycle it creates. When a child gets killed, it don't just end with the funeral. It ignites more pain, more retaliation, more destruction. That child's mother ain't never going to recover. That child's father is going to carry rage in his heart forever. That family ain't gonna never be the same. And the community, it loses another piece of its soul every time this happens. And let's not forget, the system loves this shit. The system eats it alive. They don't have to destroy us if we're willing to do it ourselves. Every time a child dies, the cycle tightens. More black and brown kids growing up traumatized. More young men thrown in prison for life. More families torn apart. And for what? A name on a t-shirt, that's your prize? That's what you're looking forward to? Some so-called street cred? That ain't power. That's destruction. Because if you really had power, you wouldn't go to jail after you do what you do. If you really had power, the police will roll up on you and say, yeah, that looks like him. Yeah, I think that's him. Hey, man, have a good day. That ain't power. That's self-destruction. The real ones out here know that killing kids ain't gangster. Protecting them is gangster. The strongest man ain't the ones willing to pull the trigger on innocent lives. They're the ones standing in the gap, standing up and saying, enough is enough. Those are the men that should be protected. Those are the men that should be sought after by women. Women, you want to live in a safer community? Stop messing with these uncivilized mutt breeders. You want to give your child a real chance at life? Do not procreate with an uncivilized mutt, because he's going to finish you off. He's going to drag you down, and he's going to drag your child down. He's going to plant that nasty ass poisonous seed in your... You don't want that. Fixing this, it ain't easy, fam. It ain't going to be easy. If you're just not joining, fam, we're talking about the suspects in the Lil Ronnie case. Lil Ronnie, rapper out of Texas, who was gunned down on yesterday morning with his 5-year-old daughter at a car wash in Forest Hills, which is a suburb of Fort Worth, about 30 minutes from Dallas. The police know who the suspects are. They are just getting evidence together before they come to the media with it. But they got their asses like I told y'all they would get their asses. There are certain types of crimes you commit, you not getting away. You just ain't. I don't care what you think your plan is, what kind of plan you got, how long you been planning it. Your ass is not getting away with that. As I was saying, fixing it ain't going to be easy, but it can be done. Let me tell you something, fam. It starts with the people in the community, not politicians. So let's get that straight. This is something we can fix ourselves. It starts with the people in the community, not with the politicians. The politicians don't give a damn. The police don't give a damn. The outsiders don't give a damn. It's us. It starts with us. The ones who live here. The ones who feel the pain when our children are taken. The ones who see the cycles repeating. That's where it starts. That's who have the power and the most incentive for change. For one, we got to bring back the code. The streets used to have rules. Women and children were off limits, period. Point blank, period. Innocent people were off limits, period. The old heads, the OGs, the respected ones, y'all need to start speaking up again. Man, damn what somebody's saying, trying to call you a hypocrite for the way you used to live. You're a hypocrite if you're doing the same thing and talking about change. That's hypocritical. But if that shit is in your past, that's in your past. Man, don't let nobody trick you out of your position like that. They tried to get me with that when I first started getting on social media. When I very first started getting on Facebook, and I'm trying to get a youngsters the game. I'm trying to give them the game because I've been there, I've done it. I've had the mindset. I'm trying to give them the game. And you got clowns jumping in the comments trying to drag me down, trying to disparage my name based off of how I used to be. So, number one, we got to bring back the code. And let me go back and let me speak a little bit more on that. Let me speak a little bit more on change, OGs changing and giving the game, stepping up. It's important not to get caught up in that type of cycle where people are talking down on you because of the way you used to live. Every sinner got a future and every saint got a past. And the people that's trying to disparage somebody for trying to give the youngsters the game, their asses ain't even saints themselves. They're just disruptors. They're agents of chaos. That's it. They ain't never did nothing to help the community and ain't gonna do nothing. When they see somebody trying to help, they frown on that. Even you can put $1,000 in their pocket. They'll take the $1,000 and at the same time be like, man, who that nigga think he is? He think he did something because he gave me some money. Nigga, gave me $1,000. You know, and he got all that money. He could have gave me more than that. Bring back the street code. The streets used to have rules. The old heads, the OGs, the respected ones, y'all gotta start speaking up again. If you still got influence, use it to teach these young dudes that killing kids ain't gangster. It's weak. If they ain't listening, cut them off. Stop protecting them. The streets are supposed to hold people accountable. If you let a killer of children walk around unchecked, you're just as guilty. You ain't hard, you ain't gangster, you don't love nothing. And your mama should be embarrassed and your daddy should have pulled out. It's mentorship over mayhem. These young dudes out here, they lost. Most of them ain't got no daddies. And let's speak on that. We talk about women who have daddy issues. It's a lot of dudes got daddy issues. This is why they out here putting on the mask, just gunning innocent people, killing kids and just shooting in crowds and just indiscriminately killing people, throwing their lives away. They got daddy issues. They ain't have no man to show, a man, not no male, a man to show them the way. Most of them ain't never had a real man sit them down and show them how to move with wisdom instead of emotion. That's why they so quick to grab a gun over the smallest thing. They got no conflict resolution skills, no emotional control, no patience. We need mentorship. We need X Street dudes, business owners, community leaders, barbers, coaches, anybody with knowledge to step up and show them another way. Teach them how to build instead of destroy. When I was destroying, I had a temporary feel of good. It felt kind of good that I was useful at something. But when I learned to build, it gave me a much greater sense of pride. When I was fighting just fighting in the streets, just regular fighting in the streets, I had a sense of pride. But I always got in trouble. When I walked into the gym, the boxing gym, and a month later after I had my first fight, and I knocked the dude out in the first round, and they gave me a trophy, and I didn't get in trouble. The grown-ups were cheering. Oh, man. It not only gave me a sense of pride, I felt protected by the village, and I felt respected. We need mentorship. Teach them how to build instead of destroy. We got to stop glorifying destruction. We got to stop glorifying destruction. Hip hop, the game that I love, the game where I tried to inject some game, and the street culture used to be about telling real stories. Now it's a bunch of dudes glorifying killing their own people like it's an achievement. And the kids eating it up. They think that's the way to be respected, to be feared, to be a man. They are following dudes who are crash dummies. They are following crash dummies. They hopping into a car with a crash dummy. A crash dummy at the wheel. They're taking instructions from crash dummies. Let me tell you about a crash dummy. A crash dummy is going to crash into something. Your job is to make sure the crash dummy don't crash into you. Just because the crash dummy hasn't crashed into anything, do not get caught up in the fact that they have not been harmed. The crash dummy days are numbered. It's only a matter of time. We got to shift the culture. Stop celebrating the dudes who get locked up and start celebrating the ones who come home and do better. Or better yet, the ones who don't never go in the first place. Start telling the stories of growth, survival, and success, because the real goal ain't dying young. It's dying old. The real goal is not to stay stuck in a perpetual cycle of drama and chaos and abuse. The real goal is growth. It is to get out. It is to elevate. We got to have community accountability. If you know who's out here shooting up the neighborhoods and killing kids, but you stay silent, you're part of the problem. Silence is complicity. This no snitching thing was never meant to protect child killers. Let me say it again for the ones in the back. This no snitching thing was never meant to protect child killers. If a grown man kills a baby, he deserves to be off the streets, period. The community has to stop protecting demons. And for the parents, if your child is out here moving reckless, don't ignore it. Too many mothers crying after their son get locked up for life, like they didn't see the signs. It's too many of them out there. They're acting like they didn't see the signs. If he bringing guns into your house, skipping school, hanging with the wrong crowd, you got to step in now. You got to step in now. That's if you love your child for real. And that's if you love yourself. Because you might think that because your son is out there living reckless, that it ain't going to bring nothing on you. You probably reconcile that if your son gets killed, you're going to hurt, but that's the life he chose. And, so be it. You've already paid for the funeral expenses. You're ready. You're ready to get that knock at the door of that call. You're ready. But what you ain't ready for is these uncivilized little youngsters out here that will kill you too. That'll kill you because they can't get to your son, or will shoot you down while you're in the car with your son on your way to school to take him to school, or shoot up your house while you sitting in the living room watching TV, or kill one of your other kids who you have hope for, you have brighter plans for. You ain't prepared for that. You brought them here. Get on your job. You got to invest in your kids. Don't just be trying to put all the blame on somebody else, blaming society, blaming rappers, blaming the teachers. Your ass brought them here. It starts with you. It starts at home. Invest in your children. Give these young ones something to live for. A lot of these kids don't see a future for themselves. They grew up in broken homes like I did. They see death all around them like I did. And they think that all life has to offer is death and destruction. We need to invest in real programs, sports, music, business training, trade skills, things that show them another way. And those things are actually out there, but you got to do the work. And a lot of parents just don't want to do the work because they're so damn busy doing them. If we don't put resources into these schools and to these kids, the streets will. And we see how that turns out every day. We got to change the definition of real. Change the definition of real. Too many young men think being real means being feared, being violent, being heartless. We got to reprogram that. Being real means being smart, moving with purpose, protecting your people, and building a legacy. It means handling your problems like a man, not a coward with a gun who takes innocent lives. We got to start respecting builders more than destroyers. If you're destroying something that does not improve a situation, you are part of the problem. We got to stop getting caught up in misplaced pride. We proud of all the wrong shit. We proud of the wheels on our car. We proud that we knocked that old dude right at the store that was talking slick. We knocked him out. We proud of that. We got the one-hitter quitter. I've been there. That's why I can speak on it. We proud that we're known as the feared guy in the neighborhood. The feared guy always gets killed. The feared guy always ends up in prison. You really want to be feared? Like this guy to the left, some of us are proud that we can't go nowhere. We got to lay low. We can't go anywhere freely because we done made too many damn enemies. We don't know when the darkness going to come and where it's coming from because we got too many damn enemies. We got enemies we don't even know we made. We don't even realize we even forgot about those. And we got so many damn enemies, we didn't forgot about a lot of them. And we proud of that. We bragging on that. We proud of making kids instead of raising kids. You got dudes that sit around, man, how many kids you got? Man, shit, I don't know, man. I think I got about 13, 15, 8, 7, 6. When last time you seen them? Shit, man. Man, you know, your mama be tripping, man. Everybody tripping but you. Everybody tripping but you. We proud that we went to prison. Yeah, man, I was down there. Man, on the Connor unit, man, and yeah, I was in Cummins, man, and man, it was real down there, man. Them niggas was wild, boy. You know what I'm saying? But I had my boy, Lil Bookie, man. Me and Lil Bookie, we was tight, man. We stabbed a couple niggas out there. Them niggas tripping, man. Proud of going to prison, man. You're supposed to be proud of not going to prison. You're supposed to be proud of not catching a case. You're supposed to be proud of not being dragged away from your family. Be proud of raising your own children instead of some other man raising your children. Be proud that you get to live out your years and raise your own children and give them the game to help them navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. You should want to be here as many days as possible for your children to give them the game, to let them know what the deal is, man. It's dangerous out here for real. You really want to get knocked off, get put away, and have your children out here trying to figure this shit out all by themselves? Are you serious? That ain't manly. That ain't real. That's the antithesis of real. Be proud that you got a good credit score. Be proud that you didn't leave your mama out here just mourning for the rest of her days and just mourn herself to death. Be proud that you came up, man, and you did enough to pay your grandparents back with a remodel of their house. They don't want to move. They cool with where they live. But be proud that you paid, you came up and you got your grandmama house and granddaddy house remodeled. Bought mama a new house, bought daddy a new house. You're building generational wealth. Be proud that you live in a community where the men respect the women and the women respect themselves. You see something on your neighbor, you be proud that you live in a neighborhood. When somebody come out there with some foolishness, the whole neighborhood come out on the streets and say, what's going on? We don't do that around here. We raising kids. We love our children for real. It ain't just talk. So the shooters ran up on Lil Ronnie while he was washing his car. It looked like he's vacuuming at that point. He was vacuuming the car. His daughter is in that car. You can't see her, but she's in there dead. She's inside of that car on the screen right now, dead. At this point, her dad is over to the right, out of picture, but he's laying on the ground near one of the other vacuum stations. And he was probably dead at that point because they chased him, and he looked like he tried to jump the fence, but he realized he wasn't going to be able to jump the fence. And they actually opened fire on him, and he took off running. And then they took off running in the opposite direction. But when they saw that he couldn't jump that fence, they turned around and went back for him. And that's when he tried to run over there near that blue shed that's in the back right there, back of that truck, that car. And he went over that way, and two of them came for him. And they gunned him down. And that's when he jumped up. He got up, and he ran back over toward the other vacuum. That's where he collapsed. And that's where his body was found. I'm going to say it again, fam. We are proud of the wrong things. See, this is misplaced anger, misplaced pride. We're proud of the wrong things. Too many of us take pride in the wrong things. We glorify self-destruction, celebrate the killers, and throw parades for dudes who just came home from prison. But where is that same energy for the ones who stay free, raise their kids, and build something real? Where is that energy? You got clowns who will try to clown a dude who stay free, raise their own kids, and build something. And then you got these unlearned youngsters who latch hold of these clowns. And I surmise one of the reasons why they follow these clowns is because, like youngsters, clowns don't want to have any responsibility. They don't want to be accountable for anything. So youngsters find something appealing about not being accountable. So they can find an old dude or old head that's not accountable for anything, that frown on accountability. They'll oftentimes attach themselves to that type of guy because he sounds like just an older version of them. I had a family member once. My brother asked him who was his hero. Well, actually, my brother was like, my older brother said, man, you need to find you somebody. You need to find yourself a role model. That's what he said. You need to find a role model. This is when the youngster was, on the wrong track. He on the wrong track. So he said, man, you need to find you a role model. I got a role model. Who? And then he named somebody in the family that was on a path to destruction. Well, not on a path, but was already inside of a path, the path. He was on the path already, right? He named that guy because that guy was not accountable for anything and he was reckless. And the youngster, a lot of youngsters don't like accountability. So this is why a lot of times youngsters will attach themselves to other youngsters who appear to be cool. They'll attach themselves to the older guys who appear to be cool because they smoke, they drink, they do whatever they want. They got a bunch of kids. They got this. They just do everything backwards. And the youngster like that because, man, I ain't got no rules. They liked it. They don't like structure. They frown on structure. So any dude that don't have structure is appealing to them. It's just like girls. Sometimes you have young girls, they'll follow that girl who is a little older or sometimes a lot older because she don't have any structure in her life. She's loose. She does whatever she wants to do. And the other girl have been told that, hey, you can't do that and don't do this. And, you got to be careful with these boys and you don't want to have a reputation and da-da-da-da. Well, being a youngster, you get tired of somebody telling you what to do all the time and follow the rules. And, so it seemed appealing to kind of live the lifestyle that your friend lived. And so you jump over there and start doing the same thing she doing. And then you realize, well, damn, this is what they were talking about. So a lot of times youngsters follow the wrong people because they don't like structure. They'll follow somebody with no structure, no discipline, because youngsters detest accountability and discipline. We are proud of the wrong things too often. We're proud of how many bodies somebody caught, how much dope they pushed, how many years they did behind bars. Do you understand how psychotic that sounds? To be proud of how many bodies somebody caught, how much dope they pushed, how many years they did behind bars. We act like surviving shootouts and dodging indictments is the measure of a man. But what's the end goal? A casket or a life sentence? That ain't something to be proud of. That's a trap. If you are proud of something like that, you're walking right into the trap. Youngsters, let me say that again. If you are listening, if you think dodging indictments and surviving shootouts is worthy of praise, you're on the wrong path. If you are proud of how much dope somebody pushed, how many years they did behind bars. Something is wrong with you. You need to look in the mirror and ask yourself, is this really what you want? Is this really me? Because that ain't nothing to be proud of. What we should be proud of is raising families and breaking cycles. A real flex is breaking generational curses, being a father to your kids, being a protector, being a provider. Too many of us grew up without strong male figures, and the cycle keeps repeating because we ain't valuing fatherhood like we should. Being a good dad, a good husband, a good leader in your household, that's real. That's real to me. Building wealth and ownership instead of bragging about how much money we blew on cars, jewelry, designer clothes. We should be talking about who's buying back the block, who's opening businesses, who's putting their people on, who's teaching the next generation how to own something instead of just working for somebody else. Do you know that there are guys in prison? That's all they think about. That's all they talk about is how much money they blew on cars, jewelry, and designer clothes. That's all they talk about. What if you got a guy in jail right now, and instead of his mind being on what he did, what he used to do, and that same old lifestyle, hoping that he can jump back in when he get out, what if he get in there and he used that time to think about buying the block? What if he used that time to think about opening businesses, putting people on, teaching the next generation how to own something instead of working for somebody else? We need to be proud of keeping the next generation out of the system. We need to start taking pride in saving young men instead of leading them to destruction. If you're a big homie and you teaching little dudes how to trap, rob, shoot, you's a motherfucking failure. You's a failure with a big old ass F. Point blank, period. But if you're guiding them towards something better, that's leadership. Knowledge is power. We got too many smart, talented people in our communities who could be teaching the youth real skills, business, law, investing, tech, trades. But instead, we act like that ain't cool. Meanwhile, the same system we hate is making sure that our kids don't get those opportunities. They're making sure their kids get that opportunity. Did you hear what I said? The same system we hate is making sure their kids get those opportunities. Some of us are professionals. We got a little time to get online and teach some courses, give up some free game to these youngsters. We got time. That used to be before social media. Well, damn, my time is tight. As soon as I get home, I'm tired. I got to deal with my kids, and I really don't have time to mentor other kids. No, but we got time to hop on that internet, even if it's just 5 minutes a game. Even if it's 1 minute a game, we got the time. If you're a businessman, you got time to tell a youngster, look, man, this is what you, if I had $100, this is what I would do to turn that $100 into 1,000 and turn that 1,000 into 10,000 and turn that 10,000 into 100,000 and turn that 100,000 into 1,000,000. If you don't want to go that far, just start off with the 100. This is what I would do if I had $100. And all these youngsters can get their hands on $100 legally. If you're in law, if you're a lawyer, you can easily say, hey, man, this is what you do if the police pull you over. Hey, man, this is what you do if you're ever accused of a crime. Hey, man, this is how you file for an LLC. You can do it. You got time. Some of you guys are investors out there. You can hop online and say, man, look, this is what I would invest in. These are the stocks that I'm playing. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying this is what I'm playing. Or you can say, this is how you identify good stocks and bad stocks. Some of you guys are tech guys. You can tell a guy how to, get into a computer software engineering program or something. That's free. Or maybe it takes a scholarship and you tell them how to get the scholarship. There are people out there that young guys out there that want to be activists. There are people out there with the knowledge on how to get grants. Teach them how to get grants and start their own a nonprofit. Doing work in the community, giving back. All we got to do is give them better options. But these options got to come early before they get set in their ways. Protecting our communities, not destroying them, is what we got to make cool. Real men don't let their own people live in fear. If you are causing more harm than good where you live, you ain't no king, you ain't no leader, you ain't no soldier. Your ass is a liability. Protecting our communities means making sure kids can play outside safely. Women can walk home safely. Our elderly don't have to worry about getting caught in crossfire. That's the type of stuff we should be proud of. Anything else, you're on clown time. What's up, China Carter? Appreciate you. Angela Dadnat, what's up? Did I see Connie in here? Connie Hodge. What's up, Connie? Bless one. Bless one said, we hate to see each other advance. BP has to stop competition with each other. That's too broad to say we hate to see each other advance. We got to be very careful with how we choose words. A better way to word that is, some of us hate to see each other advance. Because I'm part of the we, and I don't hate to see others advance. I really don't hate to see anybody, whether we black or whatever. I don't hate to see anybody advance. You know, as long as I'm one of the type of dudes who, when I watch a game show, I want to see the participants break the bank. When they play that millionaire game, I want to see them get the million, man. I want to see them get it. I'm not getting any. Like some people feel like if they're not getting any money, they don't give a damn about. I don't. I just, you know, it ain't gonna make or break me, but it just do something to my spirit to see people win it. Now, obviously, if it's somebody that's against me, then I want to see them lose. But just in general, I like to see people win. Yeah, you know, you got too many people who prey on somebody's downfall. And I've said it before. You got people like on YouTube uh, and TikTok, Instagram, all of that stuff, who see somebody doing better than what they're doing, and they just immediately go into hate mode. You got some guys who try to, you know, get their subscribers up on YouTube, and instead of them trying to figure out what you did to get your game popping, they take the low road and try to talk down on you as if somehow they're gonna roach up on some subscribers. The easiest way to get to where you want to go is to have somebody that's already been there, a mentor. If you're driving from Houston to let's say Austin, you can get there with a GPS or a map. You can get there. But somebody who's already been there can tell you that you don't have to get off on that at that intersection right there, the way the map is trying to take you, because that's the scenic road. I know a quicker way. The map can't always tell you that. Facts. What's up? What's up, Vicky Slaughter? Monica Smith, Chuck Berry, Andrew Joseph. Let me see what we got. I got somebody. It looks like I got a troll. Where's that troll? I just saw some. Got a troll. Troll gone. All right, fam. That's my time. Yeah, the police have identified the suspects. They are waiting to release the names. Uh, I would assume that they are gathering more evidence, just making sure that they got it nice and packaged good for the media. These guys, I don't know. I guess they were just tired of being free because they just threw it all away. They just basically threw their whole lives away. So I guess they were just tired of freedom. You know, I guess this freedom thing is kind of getting old to them, and they was like, hey man, I'm tired of being free. Let me go into this prison system and see what's going on. You know, let me see what it looked like being around men all day and having to lay up in the bed while another dude is taking a dump 3 feet away from me, and I got to smell everything that come out of his body. Yeah, you know, maybe I deal with, you know, maybe I take that life for a while, see what that's like on the other side for a while, maybe do that for about 30, 40 years. And, you know, maybe that's what's going on. In any event, fam, here we are again. R.I.P. Lil Ronnie, his daughter. Condolences to the family, friends, and fans. Till next time, fam, y'all enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.